Welcome back to Notes Due at Midnight, the podcast where the notes are due at midnight, the coffee is cold, and somehow we all convince ourselves that tomorrow we will be more organized. I'm Casey Openshaw Haycock. I'm a doctor of occupational therapy, a clinic owner, a mom, and someone who has been diagnosed with ADHD as an adult after spending years working with children who had ADHD. The irony isn't lost on me. I have spent years taking continuing education courses, learning about executive functioning, sensory processing, emotional regulation, and attention span. I'd sit there the whole time thinking, wow, this is all really great information. And then one day it hit me. Maybe I wasn't just as great at recognizing ADHD because I worked with it every day. Maybe I recognized it because I'd been living with it my entire life. And maybe I'm not as self aware as I thought I was. And suddenly, as I was taking this ADHD certification, everything made sense. My piles of laundry that I clearly cannot put away. I have a mental block. The truck that somehow became a second closet, and my unopened mail. Let me tell you about the unopened mail. It's everywhere, everywhere. The 37 tabs open on my computer. The fact that I can run 3 therapy clinics, but somehow lose my coffee 3 times before lunch. If you have ADHD, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't have it, you probably know someone who does. My husband clearly does not have it. He's very organized. I think I drive him insane every day. And one of the biggest things I've learned is that our brains are not broken. They just work differently. And ADHD can kind of be a superpower, I think, if you learn how to harness it. And the kids that have it are no different. Sometimes what looks like defiance may actually be that their system is overwhelmed. Sometimes what looks like laziness is an executive functioning breakdown. And sometimes what looks like bad behavior may just be a nervous system asking for help. So, really kind of learning what exactly the person that's having these issues is trying to tell, what the behavior is communicating, essentially. And that's why I love occupational therapy so much, because we're always asking one simple question: why? Not how do we stop the behavior, but why is it happening? Because once you understand the why, everything changes. As I said in my last podcast, as therapists, we spend about an hour a week with each child. Parents spend the other 167. And that's why the biggest changes almost never happen during therapy. They happen when the parent is putting their kids to bed, at the dinner table, during homework, maybe in the grocery store, maybe when you took your kid to the park. Or maybe it's on those random Tuesday mornings when everyone is running around and someone can't find their shoes. It's usually Theo. Sometimes it's me. Those are the moments that matter. One of my therapists said to me, Theo acts so differently when Curtis brings him. He's like ready to go. She's like, but when you bring him to OT, he's kind of dysregulated. And then I realized it's because I'm always doing that one more thing and one more thing, and I'm not ready to go either. Um, so being self-aware as a parent is really important. One of the most favorite things a parent can say isn't, it worked perfectly. It's simply, I went home and I tried what we talked about. Because parenting isn't about perfection. It's about showing up again tomorrow, one strategy at a time, one deep breath at a time, and one tiny win at a time. And therapy is almost the exact same. And that's why I created the COPEN program. The COPEN program stands for Coaching on Parenting and Emotional Navigation. And really, it's simple. I think all people that work with kids could benefit from this program. And I really just wanted parents to feel like they were opening a new door instead of hitting another wall, hence the name COPEN. It is also my name and initials. Um, it's opening a new way to understand their kids' behavior, opening communication between the kid and the parent, and opening parent and child confidence, as well as educators. Educators can take the program as well, and opening hope. Hope that tomorrow can be better. Maybe we'll have one less meltdown, one less attack, because most parents don't need someone telling them they are doing everything wrong. They need someone that says, I see what you're going through, and let's figure this out together. COPEN is designed to help families understand sensory processing, emotional regulation, behavior, routines, boundaries and rules, and the why behind what they're seeing at home. And here's the exciting part. For the entire month of August, the program is going to be completely free for all the families that come to the open shop spot. So, whether you're one of our clinic families or found this podcast from somewhere across the country, you are welcome to join. If you're not a family, unfortunately, there is a charge. But if you are one of our clients, it's completely free. We're going to have virtual options, and you'll fill out a profile about what's going on at home, and we'll kind of go from there. Um, every family deserves access to practical tools and support. And I truly believe that when we help caregivers feel more confident, kids benefit every single day, not just during 1 hour therapy session. One of the greatest compliments I've ever received wasn't about handwriting or feeding or sensory integration. It was a parent that came back and said, You made me feel like I wasn't failing. And I still think about that because that's the goal, right? As parents, we don't want to fail. We want to do what we need to for the kid. But as a parent, we're not going to be perfect. So, not perfection, just hope that tomorrow can be better. Confidence of how to help your kid and knowing that you're not doing this alone. I think one of the good things that's going to come out of this program is the community that's going to be there that's going through similar things that you might be going through at home. So, if you've listened to this podcast, I know it's pretty new. For any amount of time, you realized I don't have my life completely figured out. I'm really, trying. I still forget things. I get distracted. I have days where my brain feels like a browser with 50 tabs open. And life can get very overwhelming, especially when you have lots going on. I'm sure every parent can relate to that. But I also have learned something really important. Understanding yourself changes everything, and understanding how your child works changes everything too. When we stop asking, what's wrong with them? And start asking, what are they trying to tell us? That's when relationships begin to change. And that's when therapy leaves the clinic and real life starts to get just a little bit easier. So this week, I'm going to leave you with one challenge. The next time your child, or honestly, your spouse or yourself or anyone you know is having a hard moment, I challenge you to pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what might be underneath this? And you might be surprised by the answer. Thank you for spending another episode with me on Notes Due at Midnight. If you're interested in joining our free COPEN program in August, we'd love to have you. Send me a message. And until next time, be kind to yourself, be curious before you're critical, and maybe let's all try to finish our notes before midnight. I'll see you next week.